We're up in Norrland. Our little trip up north. 18 hours. Filming you. Yeah, 18 hours, right? In the car?
Yep, 18 hours.
So I'm gonna try to do Tony Talks up here. Let's see if I can do that. Our doggies is with us. Hello, doggy. Pretty nice weather outside, actually. Yeah. See ya. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Tony Talks. Is it number 4? I think. Yeah. As you can see, I'm not in my ordinary place. I am up north with Åsa. We drove up here. It took like, I think, 16, 18 hours, something like that. We're gonna be here until Saturday. So when you see this, we are already home and safe and sound. But as you can see, I don't have my usual room, so I have to like improvise with the equipment. Not so much the equipment, but with the placing of everything. So I hope it sounds okay, and you will be able to watch this on Tuesday. So I think I'm gonna do a little more shorter video this time. So I'm gonna do a playthrough of Words of a Demagogue, and then I'm gonna do a breakdown where I talk about the different elements of the song. So I'm gonna go right to it, basically, because I know some of you want me to play that song. So I'm gonna do a playthrough first and then a breakdown. So here we go. Coffee break. coffee break again. Hey, hey. This was always a good part to get the crowd going. Hey, hey. Yes, so there it was. Some mistakes here and there, but we don't play it so much anymore and we don't rehearse, so yeah, forgive me for that. But I think I managed quite well. So, if we gonna break down this song, I can talk a little bit about it first. This song was the. I'm trying to not do this. I have noticed it sounds bad. But this song was the last song I wrote for a second album. I remember it was a song for myself first and foremost. Before it became a Zephyra song, I had an idea to do like side projects or whatever back then. But it led up to it evolved to a Zephyra song. I had in mind that this song were supposed to be the last song on the album, like a closer. The piano part in the outro is like fading out, and that was because I wanted it to be the last song on the album. But as you know, it turned out the opposite. It became the first song on the album, and even our first and only video from that album. When I wrote it, it felt like a good closer, but after we have been to the studio and recorded it, and everyone had heard it, so it felt more like, yeah, this has to be the first song on the album instead. Musical wise, it's kind of is very intense, and the song for me, I think, if I recall correctly, was a song that would like show off what Zephyra was all about. I think it's all of the elements that we have had in one song. It was fast songs, fast parts, it was slow parts, it was keyboards, it was growl, clean. Yeah, basically everything in one song. And I think it was also that reason that we decided that it would be a good single, because it showed off our progress from the first album. This is who we are now, this is how we sound. We have keyboards, blast beats, heavy, fast, everything in one song. And the beginning of the song begins with a keyboard, a kick drum and a ride, and a bass line. And it's a keyboard part over that one. And I don't know if I have said it before, but all my keyboard parts I write on guitar first. I write the keyboards on guitar first. So I wrote it like this, the keyboard. Yeah, like that. So first, when I record like the demo versions, I record this melody over the guitars, and then eventually I try to figure out note by note what I'm playing, and then I program it in. When I program keyboards, I only use a simple piano to begin with, so I can hear that the notes are correct. So I write it first on the guitar, then I take out the notes and I put it in a piano roll, and I program the keyboards. And after that, I found a suitable sound that would suit the song, and I rarely use just one keyboard. I combine like minimum of 3-4 to get my own sound and feeling for that. It could be like a bass, heavy keyboard synth, and maybe one with bells and stuff like that. Yeah, so that is how I program keyboards, and it's still true to this day. Sometimes I can play directly on the keyboard, but often I come up with the melodies on guitar. I try to think kind of old school in a way that if we would have two guitars and no keyboards, the keyboard player is the guitar player. So if you know our first album, we didn't have any keyboards, or basically none, but there were a lot of guitar melodies. So those melodies that I wrote back then are like transcribed to keyboards nowadays, both in later Zephyra and now in Slashy Sue. And then the intro part comes in with guitar and everything, and the intro is the same as the chorus. It's kind of basic, like this. And the keyboards is above this. But when this is the recorded guitar version I played now, but when you have played a long time, I come up with things that I play live. So when I play it live, I play it like this. I add this, and I even add some melody underneath this. It's very subtle, but can you hear it? Instead of just I put a melody under it. So the root note is the same, but I have like a melody beneath it. After that part comes a part that the drums and bass play one thing and I play another, and then we meet at the end of the riff 2 times. So the bass and drums play like this. And I play just straight here. So I think that is kind of cool together when they're playing this rhythm part. Sorry for the noise. My noise gate isn't really working with this sound card. But like I said, we are in northern part of Sweden and we have a different setup, so bear with me. Yeah, but they play the rhythm part and I played straight over that, and it sounds good together. And then the verse come about. And it's a fast one, very Dark Tranquillity inspired for me, and it goes like this. So that's the verse. So you can see I mainly only down picking, and it's several reasons for that. One is that I'm not very good at alternate picking. I can, but that's not my strong point. So I mainly down pick, and I think it also sounds more hard, more evil. Like I could play like the chorus like this. Sometimes I do, but mainly I play like this. It's much harder, but especially live, it gets me more, like, you know. So yeah, that's the verse, and then the bridge is just this one that I played. And then the chorus comes, it's the same as the intro. I play exactly the same as that one. And then this part comes again. Yeah, that part. And the verse again, and the chorus again. And then comes a bridge part. Starts with me just holding out the guitar. Piano part in the background there, and the same as the intro with all the keyboards, like I said, I wrote it on guitar first. So it would sound something like this on guitar. In the beginning, I wrote that on guitar first, and I recorded it on the demo version, and then I programmed it to piano in this version. And the section that connects the start of the bridge to the vocal part is just like this. So it's very heavy, and the whole part with the bridge section is that it's kind of slow, and then it builds up to be what I call climatic. And yeah, when Åsa starts to sing, it's just like this. Very heavy. It's so nice to headbang to it. But it goes a bit faster, I think it's like this. Something like that. And then it goes over to a little middle piece between the riffs, and it goes like. And then it picks up a little bit of speed and a little bit more intensity. And I add this little thing at the end here. And it's quite hard for the fingers because they have to do an opposite motion. It looks maybe easy, and it's kind of easy, but just to and at a higher speed as well. Mindfuck. And then it goes over to a faster part when Åsa is totally chaotic in her growls, like this. So I still have the tail of the riff, but I have like a thrasher part before it. It's so fun to play live. It's kind of hard for the fingers as well. It slows down a little bit, and then it goes out to this last chorus, and this fast part again, and then the outro riff on piano. So that's basically it for this song. It goes in drop C. I think this was third song ever I wrote in drop C. I think it was Tobias that introduced me to the tuning from the beginning. I think my first song was Tormenting T from that album. The first album we only had songs in D standard, and on the second album we had D standard and drop C. Yeah, I like drop C. We have it you have it in all the songs in Slashy Sue. No, we don't. We have a couple songs in heavier tuning, but drop C is my favorite because I think it's heavy, but it's still kind of detail. You can hear the details. I don't want to really play too low, so it gets. I don't like that bass sound because that's why we have bass players, I believe. But that's my personal opinion. I like drop C. It's kind of, yeah, it's the best middle ground, I believe. The lyrics to the song, I remember writing the lyrics. I think I was a little bit pissed that day. I don't know why, but I was a little bit pissed, and it was the last song to be finished. So I drew away with my car. I took the computer and had a song there, and I sat at the parking lot somewhere, and I had some coffee with me, of course, and I think maybe some candy or something. I listened to the song in the computer and wrote the lyrics there, following someone and not think for yourselves. That's the meaning of the song. A demagogue, someone who is like chanting that, like Hitler. He's a classic demagogue, and I think we most can agree that he was a bad person. But it could be someone at your work, your boss. It could be a religious figure. It could be a politician. It could be a musician. It could be anybody actually. So it's about think for yourself before you listen too closely. You can listen to people, but don't take their opinions like the absolute truth. Think for yourselves. So in the video, if you have seen it, you've seen that we had blindfolds on, and that was to symbolize when Åsa was up there and singing to us that she was like, yeah, this and that and this and that, and we like, yeah, we didn't see, we just listened and we just heard her the voice, and everything she said was true. And at the bridge section of the song, one of the women in the video, she took off the blindfold and walks up to Åsa and confronts her. So that's the message with the song. That is, think for yourself and don't rely on anybody else's opinion too much. So I think I'm gonna end it there because we're gonna have some pizza now, and we are still up north, so I don't have a lot of time to do this. And I think I'm gonna do another song next time, maybe, if this works out well. So and don't forget to, I'm gonna sound like a real YouTuber now, to subscribe and click the bell, and what else? Like and comment, and everything of that nature, because it helps us a lot. And as always, feel free to give me suggestions and critique. I love because when you give me critique, you are very respectful. But I'm still learning. Today, maybe, I don't know how this is going to sound and look, but today is, little bit different. But next week, I'm going to be at home again with my ordinary setup, and I think it's going to be better. Thank you. Bye-bye.